Hi there, my name is Divya. I'm a licensed clinical social worker here at ChangeWell Psych. I am here to share with you one of my favorite skills that I use with couples. It is called the Stress Reducing Conversations from the Gottman Method. For those of you who are not familiar with the Gottman Method, please go check out Gottman.com. You will get more information about the specific skill that I'm talking about, as well as other skills and just a wealth of resources for couples. I am level 1 and 2 trained with the Gottman Method, and if I started talking about Gottmans right now, it would need to be a video of its own. So I'm gonna not do that and come back to the skill at hand, which is the stress reducing conversations. So this skill helps couples manage conflict more effectively and just connect at a deeper level. And this is one of my favorite skills because I have seen it work so beautifully with couples that have had a harder time engaging with each other, couples that have been married for 25 years or been partnered a really long time and feel like their conversations are becoming more just about daily logistics, or couples that have been experiencing conflict and feel like the minute we walk in the room, there is that tension because I don't know what's going to be brought up by my partner. So they become more avoidant of each other. And these conversations kind of set the stage for healthy dialogue, but also safety within the relationship. And the reason that these conversations do that is you get to bring in stressors from your day, stressors that are outside of your relationship. So your partner is already going in being like, we're not talking about us, we're not talking about issues between us. But it really gives them the opportunity to tune in and listen to what's weighing on you. And it gives you the opportunity to share really openly with them what your stressors are in order to receive validation, empathy, and maybe some problem solving. These conversations are fairly structured. There's a speaker and there's a listener role within the conversations. I talk to couples a lot about the fact that, this is kind of structured and templated and requires a lot of intention to participate in. And I've had them come and be like, okay, so we're following almost like this kind of template to be able to have a conversation. Shouldn't it feel organic? Yes. We want to be able to get to a place where it feels organic, but like any skill, it's going to feel practiced. And once you practice it and use it, the hope is that it will become organic and you can kind of make it your own and it'll flow more naturally. But in the meantime, go in with the expectation that this is going to feel really structured and may not feel as natural as you'd like. However, it yields beautiful results. So going back to the structure a bit, we are going to try and create a space where you have 15 minutes to speak and 15 minutes to listen. So you're blocking out 30 minutes on your calendar, whether it is right before you sleep, when you wake up, during a lunch break. I know with some of you who have kids, finding that 30 minutes is just extremely hard, and it is really important. So I really urge you to talk to your partner and figure out what time works best to be able to structure these conversations. As the speaker, what you're going to do is you are going to share with your partner as authentically as possible or something that is weighing heavily on your mind or your heart that day. It could be something that's happened that day. It could be something that you're worrying about in the future. It's something that may have happened in the past that you may not have shared. However, you're finding yourself ruminating or kind of feeling stuck within that. And that's what you're going to do. You have 15 minutes to be able to communicate that need as effectively and detailed as possible. That's your role in this. As the listener, there is a little more involvement in your role where you are going to be really attuned to your partner and ask a lot of questions. You're going to come in with curiosity. So when your partner is sharing a stressor that they're experiencing, it is really natural for you to kind of go into, okay, let me figure it out, let me fix it. Sitting with your partner's emotions sometimes can be really difficult. And what I want you to do is not do that. I want you to kind of take a step back and get into more of the listening role, more of the understanding role, and less of the we need to fix it and go into problem solving part of it. And that can be really challenging, but this is how you're going to challenge yourself to be more attuned to your partner's needs. So as the listener, you are going to simply listen to what your partner says. You could reflect it back to them. And when we think about reflective listening, you are essentially paraphrasing what your partner says back to them in order for them to clarify whether you heard it right or not. I like to sometimes use, I heard you say, followed by the paraphrasing part of it. Because when you say, I heard you say, it leaves the door open to, well, that's not exactly what I said, or you heard it absolutely right. Versus you said, and then it kind of may make your partner feel defensive, because when you say something with that surety and it may not be what your partner's heard, it can lead to defensiveness. So just being a little careful about the wording with that. So as you're reflecting back, starting with what I heard you say was, and letting your partner clarify that. And once you feel like you understand what your partner has said to you, ask questions. So become curious what your partner is experiencing. Dig deeper. Try and figure out as many details as you possibly can within that conversation. What you want to do is you are on your partner's team. And I think that is really important. As you're coming into this, thinking and remembering that we are a team. This is a we. This is not your problem versus my problem. We are going to be tackling this together. And when we think about that, I think that part of being a team is also to, if you disagree with your partner and you're like, whoa, you could have totally managed this differently, we're going to keep that to yourself right now. And what we want to do is to validate your partner where they are. Validation does not mean that you agree with their stance. However, you can see a little bit of how they may have felt when a stressful event occurred. So validation can look like, that makes sense that you felt really frustrated when your boss gave you that additional assignment unexpectedly. You may be thinking, well, this is part of the job and you got to do that, but we're going to, again, hold that because what we want to do is really meet your partner where they are in that moment. And what they need to hear from you is validation and hear that you are on their team. And then what we're going to do is at the end of the conversation, if your partner feels heard, and you're going to ask them, you're going to check in with them, do you feel like I understood what you're talking about? Do you feel like I have a grasp of your stressor? And if they agree with that, great. If they don't agree with that, we kind of go back into asking more questions and seeing what they have to share. What we want to do once we do have an understanding, and they've expressed that we have an understanding, is ask them if they would like help to solve the problem. And sometimes they may need that. And sometimes they may just need you to be a sounding board for them. And that's kind of the essence of the stress-reducing conversations. Just to summarize, you are going to schedule 30 minutes to have stress-reducing conversations. Each of you gets a turn to be the speaker and the listener, so 15 minutes each. The goal is to really listen, validate, empathize, and understand where your partner is coming from, and for the speaker to be able to let your partner into your world a little deeper. I hope you find this tool to be helpful. I have seen so many couples walk in the door so excited about the way they've been able to connect over these, and I truly hope that this is something that you find to be effective for yourself and your relationship.